Alright, welcome back. We are going to do a phase 2.5 into phase 3 update. Where are we, what are we up to, and how we're cooking, how we're looking. And we'll look at a very simply look at the gear. As you can see, I'm in a bit of phase 5. I think I've got 4 pieces there, and I've got the Fang. I'm 2 off from getting my full BIS for phase 2, which is my cloak and the ring off Vash. And so let's just go into the gear. I just want to make sure how this all looks. If it's big enough, you can see all that. But what we're going to do is we're going to jump into our selective so-called best in slot. At the moment, I'm running around in a new Felguard farming spec, so I'll just quickly show you that. Basically, I've you got your standard figure, nothing in destruction whatsoever, so I'm missing my shadow burn, but very quickly we've pretty much got a high mana return, high resilience, so great survivability, great mana return back to your demon pet, whether it's a Felguard or whatever, and of course obviously you've got to have X 41 points to get to your Felguard. I've taken no crit because at the end of the day it's just crit. I'm farming. So basically what I wanted was instant dots, which I've got with Incorruption and Inflict and Agony. And then I've got high life drain, better life tap, mana return when I soul drain when they're about to die, uninterruptible, instant cast, shadow bolts, and longer range with the dots. It's been phenomenal. It's just the previous spec was just set in Felguard, do shadow bolt, life drain, which is this just as dot 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 dot. But anyway, let's do an update. So phase 2.5, going into phase 3. I'm 2 off my full BIS for the current phase. So at the moment I've got Fang. I'm the only one in the guild so far, lucky enough to have got it in our guild drops. We have had someone come in who's got a Fang, but they went off to play Season of Mastery, so I'm not sure what's going on. So basically we're sitting there with Fang, which is the best BIS weapon for a Warlock in this phase 2.5 going into phase 3. We've also got Fathom Stone, which is part of the list as well, and we also got the Sexy Wand or the Forgotten Star, so happy days. We still got Quag's Eye, and this is going to be still good to phase 3, it's my belief. Still got Icon. I never got the other one that was dropping off. What was that? Was it the Halloween or the one before? Just had no interest in doing it. So I'm currently using the Kara ring, which is going to be replaced by Lady Vash's ring, which is this particular ring here. We'll bring this up. Sorry, I was just checking out PvP, Dungeons and Raids. I think it's dropped once or twice for us. We've done about 15... so we've probably done upwards of 6 to 10 kills of Vash now. In this current guild that I'm in, which is called Seaweed on the Oceania servers. And where are we? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, Lady Vash. And what we're after is the Ring of Endless Coils. So as you can see, it's got Thox Phase 2. I'm just not sure if you can 100% see that, but I'm hoping you can. It's a 5% upgrade, and effectively what I'm getting with Pawn on, the add-on, is I get 2 extra crit, I get 3 extra spell power, I get 9 stamina, 7 intellect, and so it's a very minor upgrade. So something I wasn't prioritising whatsoever. And the other one is the back. The back is dropped by KT in Tempest Keep. Let's jump on here. I have seen it dropped a couple of times, but I wasn't paying attention to it because it was the last thing I really need. It is a slight upgrade. Where is she? Royal Cloak of the Sunstrider. So basically, it's slight stamina, slight intellect, loss of spell hit. Well, shit, it's only a 40% upgrade. But because my spell hit is not a big issue, because we run with an Ellie in our group, so there's at least 2 Warlocks, a Druid, and an Ellie, and there must be another Warlock with us. It'd be nice to have a Shadow Priest, I think, to be honest with you. But anyway, So that's the ring we're going to place. We've got the Band of Eternity. This is the first one. It's slightly better than what I currently have, but once you get the rep up, the next couple of upgrades are phenomenal. I got the Boots of Blasting, but Boots of Blasting are considered to be best in slot because of the crit and the spell power. But on simming, this one, as you can see, it says a 1% upgrade because of the very high shadow damage. So, that, if you can't tell, that is called the Boots of the Shifting Nightmare, which drops quite a lot from the early bosses. I ended up with the leggings of the Corruptor, and I used the leggings with the head tier 5 set, which give me the 15% heal back to my Demon Pet, which for the Fell Guard and farming with is a lot of fun to do. But anyway, this is an upgrade over the Spell Strike pants. It's a slight upgrade. The logs would show that as well. And we've basically got the Belt of Blasting, which again, I've got the pattern for it. I can make it myself, and I think I'm sitting on 2 in my bag. All the rest of it, Void Hard gloves. So the two tier 4 set are still good into phase 3 until you get your 4-piece tier 6, which pumps your Shadow Bolt damage up. So I've got the shoulders, and I've got the gloves. Otherwise, I would be using the tier 5 gloves just because of their stats. The stats are a big upgrade, but when you throw in the tier 4 tier bonus, which is 135 spell power damage over 15 seconds repeatedly for fire and shadow, it's hard to say no to it. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. I'm still rocking a couple of Kara items. So we basically got the Ruby Drape, which is basically dropped in Kara. I forget which boss. Oh, yeah, off the Prince. 18 spell hit and 30 spell power. In a way, I'm happy because it took me to get a time to get that, and the fact that it's still usable is a testament that some of this gear is really good. So it's lasted, like I got it possibly in, say, July, August, and here we are, it's January, and I've been playing this game quite a bit and rating hell of a lot, and we've been performing, so I've got that, it's been kicking ass, and also got the Ring of Kara that no one really wanted when it dropped in the chest event. There was one other that was chasing it, but I got it and was happy days. Now, we've also got, as I said, we've got the hood of the Corruptor, which is basically my tier 5 helm, which is, if you haven't got that, you go for the engineering helm, and it's going to cost you a boatload of coin if you're not an engineer, but they say don't go becoming an engineer just for the helm. But in some ways, I would probably like to be an engineer because, as you could probably tell, I don't have it at the moment, my epic flying mount, but I lack excuses now to get it. And whether you can tell, at the moment, I'm sitting on 17,000, nearly 200 gold in my spread across my couple of my characters. So Thok's my main. The other Justicaz my pally. He was doing AoE farming. Gazmo is my auction house whore, and he just flips stuff on the auction house, and he's sitting on 4.5 grand. And the fact that Thok, when I started farming just before Christmas, was on about 2 grand, and now I've got nearly 10 on him, shows you how much money the Legion hold killing those Warlocks has generated me. And I've probably got another several hundred worth of gold on the auction house on its way in. So, and I farm probably in blocks of 1 hour, maybe once or twice a day. Sometimes I can't do any more than 3 because of just it's boring. It's not boring. It's actually full on, especially in this current spec I'm in, which I just showed at the start. But let's just finish off a gear. So we've got the tier 5 helm, we've got the tier 5 pants. This triggers our tier 5 bonus, which is heal the demon pet. I'm a Destro Spec. I sacrificed my succubus. This has no benefit. This is no good for me in the rating outside of all the stats that are basically on these 2 items, which is very strong. But I cast Shadow Bolts, and sacrificing my succubus is the biggest damage boost I can do. I'm going to toy with the idea of going semi-deep into demonology, buffing my imp, using my imp as a 20% threat reduction, which means I can, and having ruin and giving up some of deep destro. So I lose some direct damage, but I gain it in more spell power through the demon skills, but also get 20% more threat and just see how that performs. I want to try it before the phase is over. So yeah, as I said, got the tier 4 shoulders, tier 4 gloves. We've luckily enough to get the Sun King's talisman. This is a must thing for any spellcasting class. It drops off KT in Tempest Keep, and it's an orb or something. You turn it in, you get to choose between the several different necks, and obviously there's one. Yeah, each are for different classes. You know, melee, tanking, DPS, and obviously someone's trying to message me. Then, luckily enough, I was the first. We hadn't killed. We had not killed Vash, and on that, and what I said, I think I put up my first video of a Vash kill, was we have a system within the guild which is changing for the next phase, which I'm not 100% happy with, because I feel, you know, who's making decisions. But we have a thing in the guild where people soft reserve stuff. And what that means is you need to know what is your best stuff, and you soft reserve it. And that doesn't stop, and everyone gets one soft reserve per raid, right? So, and you can roll on off specs as much as you like. So my goal was, I said to everyone, we're going to kill Vash, and investments are going to drop. So I reserved it. Everyone else reserved gear that was before Vash. So everyone was booking all the stuff before Vash, because we've been routinely doing 8 out of 10, no problems. It was killing the last two that had been the roadblock, like a lot of guilds got, but we killed it. A couple of months back, and when we killed Vash the first time, the investments drop. I was the only bastard to have it reserved, and it was my baby. So I got it, put it on, and away we ran, and we gemmed it all. And of course, I've got Mindstorm wristbands. As I said, I'm missing 2 pieces, and I am then fully. People wanting enchants off me. Pardon me. Off being full BIS for the current phase, which is phase 2, going into phase 3. What I wanted to do now is just very simply catch up where I am. So basically, I'm running Deep Destro, which is your standard Destro spec, which we can talk about at another time. But basically, it's your 21 in... the spec I've been going into is 21 in Demonology, which gives you... You're going for Demonic Sacrifice. I only put 1 in Improved Healthstone because we have 3 to 4 Warlocks, 1 Affliction, and at least 2, always 2 Destros. And we all have a range of different Healthstones. So that means that everyone gets 3 Healthstones. So when we're in the middle of a fight, because a lot of the fights, as I said, have been going from a minimum of 4 minutes through to 15 odd minutes plus. So having 3 Healthstones available means that after 2 minutes you can use another one. So it's been a lifesaver, and all it means we just got to have a shitload of shards. So normally I enter a raid with 35 to 40 shards, and I suck shards halfway through the raid, because there's a ton of trash to do that. So you go down to 20, you get 21 points of Demonology, you get Demo Spec, you sacrifice it, your Succubus, and then basically it's 5 here, 5 here in Bane, 5 here in Devastation, 1 for Shadowburn, 1 for Room, which is what it's all about. You get this for the threat reduction and the extended range on your Destro spells, aka Shadowbolt. You get this for the instant cast, which means if you get clobbered, you can throw off. You get a high chance of getting an instant cast Shadowbolt. And then what I tend to do is I put a few points up elsewhere, and I'm picking up Nether Protection. I get Backlash. I get 2 points in Soul Leech. And then we have full 5 points in Shadow Flame, which it puts 20% extra spell power damage bonus into your Shadow Bolt. And the Soul Leech has actually been pretty good, because the logs will probably show, and this is probably a good segue into the logs. So let me just sort of bring this up. Okay, so this, hopefully that can be seen. Currently, that's we're seeing myself on the Oceania server, Remulos, and we're seeing that, let's bring this up, that we're seeing, let me just highlight if that comes up on the, okay, it is, alright. So we're sitting on, oh, we probably want to do something here. I want to show, capture cursor. Alright, I'm just making sure my cursor's being caught so you can see that move around, because I'm alt-tabbing. Okay, so I'm sitting on a 95.9% overall with running in the current phase. So that's phase 2, 2.5. And you can see currently what we're sitting at with our kills. So I've sitting on a 99% pass for Hydros, a 91 for the Lurker, 97 for Leo, 99 for Fathom Lord, 99 for Tide Walker, 93 on Vash, 98 on Alar, 97 on Vordy, 99 on the High Astromancer, and 84 on Cal. By the time we get to Cal, because we're doing 10 on town, I think I'm just over it because it's a 3-4 hours of raiding, and my goal is just to survive at the end. And I'm sort of not trying to pump as hard as possible, but I need to pull my finger out for that last raid. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I was trying to get my stats up in there. So if we click on phase 2, what we're seeing is most of that is phase 2 percentages. So 99, 91, 96, 95, 99, 93. I've got to say this guild that I'm in is not. It has some sweaty players in it. I'm always a very competitive person, and it's something I always hide in my character, in my character as in my personality. Is I've been in sales and marketing my whole life. No, not my whole life. The last while, and it's an extremely competitive thing. So one way is disarming everyone, not letting them know that you're gunning for the title, and you come out of nowhere and blow everyone out of the water, and you don't make a big deal of it when you do. You just collect the gold, put it in your bank account, and you keep going, because that's the one thing. Once you put a mark on yourself, people want to get you. And to be number one, it's ability, but it's also sacrifice, and just are you willing to bleed? And I've done that in my real life, and you can get burnt out pretty quick. So you've got to find that happy medium. And it's the same with raiding too. You've got to find a happy medium. My focus in raiding has been, my main focus is, it's great to get a ridiculously high pass and just go nuts as a DPSer. But if at Hydrus, so many times in Hydrus, I probably have wiped the raid because I've gone for the pump, not focused on giving a shit about threat, other things, and pulled the boss. Now, my point of view, I think our tanks are trying to do too much damage and not trying to focus threat. And I've said softly over a period of a while that if you can focus on smashing the threat out, then we can go to our full potential. Because I feel like a lot of times, as I got better gear and I got more crit, I had to keep holding myself back because I had to put my faith in tanks, and I had lost my faith in a couple of our tanks because they just wouldn't be on their game. And if you're especially a Warlock, the threat's coming up, you're one, especially get a couple of crits, you're the man at the top of the list. And there's only so many times you can soul shatter. Once every 5 minutes. So my philosophy has always been, and a lot of people would say it, especially over voice comms and everything, well, you hardly die. I said, well, my focus is I want to do competitive DPS, do the mechanics, kill the boss. If I can achieve that and be in the top DPS, happy days. But life has taught me being the number one DPS means shit if you're not killing the boss. And I said the previous guild I came from, I was so far in front of everyone else, same gear, ridiculously higher than most, second place, third place, whatever. It meant nothing because we weren't getting the bosses down. We weren't regular. It was, we were doing things that were taking twice as long. And I said, I've been there, done that. I've got the life experience playing in this game since when 2008 to now. And it's great passing, but it's not good if you can't kill the boss regularly. It just doesn't mean anything. Passes to me are a guide, and the key thing here, I just want to go to... So I'll go to the guild rankings here. Just want to see if this all comes up. Okay, let it all load up. Let it load up. This is sort of a work business computer. Okay. All right. I'll blow this up a bit. Hopefully that makes life a little bit easier. We'll do it a bit more. And we might have to go back to that first page and make life a little bit easier. So, this is guild rankings. And this is where we ranked on our server, realm, region, all the rest of it. So, we... our progression in SSC was not epic, but our progression in Tempest Keep was better because a lot of other people feared Tempest Keep and they were more focused on SSC. So we did both. And then we worked out we should go 8-8 as quickly as possible. And we were only raiding Wednesday nights and Sunday nights, and that was reflection on our progress. Whereas other guilds were doing Wednesday, Thursdays, possibly Fridays, if not Sundays as well. And some of the other guilds on this realm were doing at least 3, if not 4 raid weeks a week, sort of thing. And it's hard when you're performing. You know, you wish you were there. So what we're going to do is going to include in recent raiders. So at the moment, we've got a Shadow Priest. He literally just has to cough, and he's a good player. But as a Shadow Priest, he literally just has to cough, and he's getting 99s. But he's performing well. But yeah, there's only so many Shadow Priests, and there's less competition, say, versus Destro Warlocks. I have to be honest. Most of the time, my focus is I'm always trying slightly different things every raid. I'm trying not always to make it all about Shadow Bolt. So I'm trying to incorporate, slightly different rotations. But last week I decided, fuck it, I'm just going to press my 5 key, which is my Shadow Bolt macro key, and I jumped from about mid 80s to 95.5%. And scored 99s across the board on a lot of the fights by just pressing one button and my seed key when I needed to, and that allowed me to jump up into. Well, I was technically in first place, but El Seji got the better kill on KT. Literally, I think he just coughs, and he's almost getting hundreds or 99s and that stuff. So the stat wise, we're looking really good. We can improve. There's a few fights I can jump up to 99. Obviously, KT, I've got a bit of room to get up to 99, and a few others where I can tiptoe up the charts. But what I wanted to get into is healing, and I don't want to make this a long video, but we'll just let this load. Sorry, it seems to be taking a bit. So these are our healers, and this is how our healers are passing under the heals. I really don't know if that's good or bad or somewhere in between. Oh dear. That's interesting. All right. But what I wanted to focus on... See, I've lost that title now. Because I've changed the spec a few times. When I came into SSC and Tempest Keep, I didn't have my full tier 4 set. And I had mostly my shadow weave set that gives you massive spell shadow damage and frozen damage, and so I had the 3-piece: shoulders, chest, and feet, and I had a couple of combos of a few things, and eventually I was able to pick up my full tier 4 set into the first 2 weeks into SSC coming live. But it gave me a lot of self healing, because all the damage you're doing, you're getting 2% of that back is healing. Halfway through push and progression into SSC Tempest Keep, I swapped to that build on the Warlock, which includes Soul Leech, and I've had anywhere from 1 to 3 in it. So 3 being probably the best option. But what I'm getting at here is that this healing. And there's a lot of good passes here. Where's Attic beat me in? Okay. So it's Leo. Leo is where he's pipped me. I seem to have... Lady Luck is not giving me... That's for some reason I'm low on that. Maybe I'm just not casting enough. Otherwise, we're doing good. So what that means is there's a lot of overhealing going on. So basically how Soul Leech works is you've got a 10 to 30% chance. Hang on, let me just double check. I don't think if it's... Is it 30? With 3 in... Yes, I think it's a 30% chance with 3 points in to get 20% of the damage back as a heal. And a lot of the stats would show that this is overhealing, that I'm at full green. But there are plenty of times that this healing's coming back. It's a passive heal. You're not doing anything other than you're dealing direct damage. It's a roll of the dice, you know, and I've had as low as 1 point, and I've gone with 2 points because I want to balance certain things. If I can get 3, would be better. But it gives me better survivability, which means I can life tap. Life is mana, mana is life, especially for a Warlock. And the more life I can use, I can convert that into mana and keep casting. So this really gives us an edge. As you can see, a lot of the mages, a lot of the other classes aren't doing the great on this is the versus other DPS. So I just want to quickly go back to the charts here. We'll go back to the single charts. And lucky enough, at the moment, I've got a couple of... I'm in the top 10, top 30 at least on some of the kills on the bosses. Let's go to... what's a tough fight? Let me just see that. So you can see I got Hydra's got 99, Lurker got 91, 97 on Leo, 99 on Fatherlord, Morg, Tidewalker got 99, 93 on Vash, Balaz 98, 97 on Voidy, 99 on the Astromancer, and Kalth for us. Let's just look at... trying to think of a heavy damage. Let's go Void Reaver here. Void Reaver. One of our recent fights, healing. Alright, so there you go. Here's an example. Obviously the heal is you know, the pass for healing's way at the top. But you've got the 2 Warlocks here, and look at the Soul Leech that we've got. So you can see that both of us have spec'd over what was considered apparently to be a private server meme spec with a Soul Leech into it, but you can see both of us has picked up 94 on our self-healing. So you got Soul Leech to Attic is 10k. Effectively, both of us have got 10k of life, give or take. Oh, with the buffs, we're probably up 11.5, 12k life. But as you can see, we're getting a lot of healing. And there's quite a bit of overhealing. 46% of that's overhealing. But it's keeping us in the game, right? It's keeping us in the game. Let's try to bring up... trying to think of a... Leo, I didn't do so well. Healing. 82, 88. Okay, so 4k. He had 5. Near enough. And what's this other one? Let's do... Is it Lurker? There you go. And it's got 96. I've got 80. And... did I do Void Reaver? Let's do this one here. Huh, he must have died. The other Warlock. And let's do Cal. I just want to see. Actually, let's do it overall. All kills. Healing. So you can see both of us end up with 81%. Look at the healing. So he's soul leeching. He's got master. So he's using 2 different health stones, first aid and death coil. Myself, soul leech, master, death coil, first aid, master health stone. But you can see the amount of life that soul leech has come back. It's 3 to 4 times our actual life. He's got even more, nearly 40k in soul leech, and I've got 34. So he might have more points in soul leech versus me. In that regard, or it's just that the stats, the dice is rolled. The dice is rolled, and hang on, I'll bring this up. Okay, 2.5, and that's sort of where we're at overall. So happy days. So at the moment, we're sitting 2 off full BIS for this current phase going leading into phase 3. I'm sitting on 17,200 gold. I'm going to buy my epic flight mount. I've got no more excuses. It's going to cost me 5,200, 5,000 gold for the skill, 200 for the mount. And ideally, the only thing that's holding me back is I've got a mage who's level 66, nearly 67, who's an engineer, 300 skill. And I've also got a paladin. And the pally, it probably would make more sense to have him be an epic mount, get 20% speed bonus to fly around, and also have an engineering skill. Now he currently is an enchanter as well, and he also has max skinning as well, because the original plan was I was going to do Black Morass and just farm the mobs and skin them all and sell all that stuff, but I just never got around to it. I honestly can't be asked, because I've got a main character who's just gone and made me more gold, several thousand gold in 2 weeks, doing farming the Warlocks at Legion Hold. And I'm about to do that when I might do up a little video. So Legion Hold is, you know, just here. And like I said, I do an hour blocks, or I aim to get approximately 100, at least 100 marks of Sargeras in the course of an hour. And I normally, with this current spec with the dots and everything, and I normally use 1 potion of Shadow Power along with a Superior Wizard Oil, which gives me basically extra 90 Shadow Power damage on top of my items, because I'm using dots, which is Instant Cast Corruption, Instant Cast Agony, and each of those spells, pressing this key has, you know, it's cast sequenced, which I'll go into a whole nother video. But basically, there we are. I've got some really good gear. This is what you might see me on my server on Remulus walking around as. Don't be afraid not to say hello. But if I'm in town, I'll normally be dressed like this until I can get my tier 5 chest. And if I could, I think KT drops the tier 5 chest. Now, it is a stat upgrade, but it's not going to beat the Sea Witch, basically. Because then we look like this instead of this, which is pretty close when you come to think of it. It's just a slight shade of colour, but it's the actual, you know, it looks good. It looks very good. Anyway, as the famous comedians, the 2 Barneys, I think say, it's good night from him, and it's good night from me. Good night. Thanks for tuning in, and this will be uploaded soon. Thanks. Good night.
They picked a fight with a Warlock. Absolute victory. I'm on a quest. Right every single wrong. Right every wrong. I'm a total freaking rock star from Mars. Baby, come on, bro. I got talking blood. And then another